We waited for the boys to come home from school. Brian came home first, and she told him, "I'm not gonna make it." And Brian laid next to her. And they were both crying. Robert was tougher. Jean told him, and Robert still had a quizzical look on his face. I said to Robert, "Robert, remember Mommy and I told you it's like Mommy's in a boxing match and she's fighting cancer. Well, cancer's gonna be the winner." He started crying and asked his mommy to fight hard.
When Jeannie Dello died of breast cancer at the age of 42, she left behind a large, loving family, including her identical twin sister, Toni Shaheen.
Growing up as a twin is not worrying about ever needing a girlfriend to be best buddies with, because you always have your sister. I don't think we ever actually talked about dying, but she had said to me when she does leave that she will give God a piece of her mind, that she, will just say what she has to say because she needs to tell him. And so I thought, I'm sure she will.
Jeannie was always like the leader, and Toni was with her, right behind her. What one was feeling, the other one knew. Like when Jeannie was going through her treatment, Toni knew exactly what was going on. It was always way in the back of my mind that Toni one day would come to me and say, "Mom, I have breast cancer." And that's exactly what happened. It's unbelievable.
Unfortunately, Toni continued to follow almost identically in her twin sister's footsteps. Within a year and a half, Toni's cancer had spread to her bones and her liver. By then, her sister Jeannie was dying. Dr. Rick Michelson was Toni's oncologist.
That was quite upsetting to all of us because the standard teaching is that if breast cancer metastasizes with traditional therapy, it's very rare to really affect a cure.
But Toni had an option that had not been available to her sister Jeannie 2 years earlier. At Columbia University, a member of the National Women's Cancer Research Alliance, Dr. Karen Antman's group is running clinical trials on women like Toni, whose breast cancer has spread throughout their bodies. They are able to give patients more high-dose chemotherapy by using stem cell transplants to rebuild their immune systems.
Metastatic breast cancer is thought to be an invariably fatal disease. With one stem cell transplant, we get about 20% long-term survival. It's become feasible to ask the question, will 3 high-dose treatments give us better statistics than 1?
As a participant in these clinical research trials, Toni received 3 high-dose treatments, then waited to see if the treatment could help her.
I was going through my heavy doses of chemotherapy when Jeannie was dying. When I wasn't looking well myself, it was even harder. I told my husband, I see her when I look in the mirror every day. Her face, her smile.
I'm very close to my mom. It's hard to see, someone you love so much go, through all the pain and you can't, feel it or whatever.
My children and my husband, they give me strength because they give me their undying love constantly. They've never ever said that they didn't think I was going to be here.
When I go to bed at night, I say a lot of prayers. I ask him to have her get better. I feel a little sad for her that she has this.
3 months later, Toni goes in for a series of scans to determine whether the high-dose chemotherapy is working for her. Her husband, David, comes with her to get the results.
He's going to say there's nothing there that I can see. That's my prediction.
Yes. So that'll be a nice one. That'll be real good to hear.
She's someone that I fell in love with and have not fallen out of love with in the last 20 years. I wouldn't want to lose that.
Now, what did they have to do, Doctor? Go down?
Just down into the normal range.
What did he say?
Basically, he said in a nutshell that you're in 100% remission. That's a technical term, right? There's never any doubt in my mind.
Jeannie is with me, always, all the time.
Watching
over us. We were saying that it didn't rain today because there was no way she was going to make it rain on her parade. But no, she did this. She said she was going to do this, and she was going to make it all better. Thank you. Since she's died, I talked to her constantly. I asked her to give me strength. There's things that I do, that I'm not sure I would be able to do without her. I believe your soul will go where it needs to go. Hers went, straight to heaven. She suffered here. If there's a hell, she went through it here.
The one thing I would like is I don't want to ever know that there's someplace in the world a mother has to call a child into the room to tell her child that she ain't gonna make it. I'd like to know that that's done with.
If we had better funding, we could do these trials much more quickly and get answers. These are the kinds of clinical trials that make a difference.
I will try the latest medications, and I'm thankful that they're there. I want to be here for a very, very long time. I want to see my children have children. That's what life's all about.
What do you have?